Hi, Sunday chat. Okay, quite a lot of things to get through. I'm trying to reorganize my desk again. This is never ending. And while I'm doing that, I thought I'll just speak about these quickly. You know, I often collect various types of these and take them off the desk very shortly after I've put them on. The accessibility of the depth of these boxes, and you know, you put a bunch of parts down there, especially those middle ones, and you sort of don't really achieve the level of organization that you want. There's a particular type that is a whole lot better, sort of long, thin, continuous ones, which I quite like, but I still haven't found a box system that I really like. The closest that I have is the little drawer systems, 5x6 or 5x8 drawers, and they take up very little space. I do have two of them, but just not on the desk because they do take a bit of surface area. But anyway, I'm trying to organize. I'm trying to have a clean desk space. And there's 3 desks in my workroom. Okay, I want to talk about this one. So this, you'll remember, I got when I say quite a while back, March maybe. And I was speaking about this because my brother had got one of these models. I built it for him back in the 70s. Yep. And I want to do something, and I wasn't sure exactly, did I want to do a painted version? The one that I had back then was orange plastic, so color is not really representative. So I have decided to actually paint it. I'm not sure if I'm going to go for that very specific yellow or yellow at all. I'm thinking not, but I will be painting it. Now, part of the process, which I sort of find somewhat more important, is getting rid of all of the chrome on the kit provided chrome parts. Now, chrome parts by AMT or Ertl is a whole different thing than chrome parts by Tamiya, for instance. So these parts have been in bleach gel for weeks. Now the reason that this doesn't work very well, and I don't know if you're going to, I think on this bigger part you'll be able to see it actually, both on the front and the back. Do you see that yellowish tint? Do you see that yellowish in there? So that is some sort of gloss surfacing that they put onto everything to help chrome it. So their chrome process, whenever they made these, now that's a little bit difficult for me to actually know because these kits are modern remakes of the 70s kits. This is boxed not long ago at all, freshly boxed and freshly molded, which means I don't know if their manufacture process has been changed or if they've just decided to stick with exactly the same thing. Now, Tamiya doesn't use that. If you dechrome Tamiya parts or if you dechrome any reasonable kit manufacturer, it all just comes off. So managing to get most of the chrome off some of the parts, you're still left with that weird surfacing that they've done. It's sort of like some type of varnish which aids the chrome adhesion. So yeah, it's not completely dechromed, and some of you have asked in the past and I'll answer it again. The reason for dechroming is that kit provided chrome, and especially AMT kit provided chrome, is so toy-like that respraying it just gets you such a better quality finish more realistic finish, not toy-like. And one may choose to not actually do these type of chrome rims, just do them a different color, in which case spraying over chrome isn't the best. That chrome is pretty glossy and your paint doesn't adhere well to it. So what do I do next? Well, not much. I might take a brush which can damage the surface but not damage the plastic. Damage that glossy surface just enough to let the bleach affect the chrome. Now I actually don't know if they've done a double surfacing. In other words, they've done something to the plastic so that the chrome will stick to it. Then they've done something else to let the chrome be protected. I might try that. But mostly when you put chrome parts in, for instance, if you put the chrome parts from this kit into bleach, 10 minutes and done, versus a month and not done. So slowly I will be working on this one. I won't be building it to represent any very specific real one. I'll just make it a nice looking model. But that dechroming process is quite a nuisance. This is the other Buccaneer which I was referring to. So that is the Airfix one which I will do next when I actually get to doing it. When I say next, it's the next Buccaneer, not necessarily the next model. And I will do it in exactly that color scheme. And when I was growing up in the 70s, these in that color scheme were flying from the airbase, I don't know, 20 kilometers from our house. So we saw these very, very regularly. A very nice kit. I'm hoping that it turns out to be a very, very nice build. I'm not saying it's a perfect kit, I'm just saying it's very nice compared to those other two. Very good decals. So that will be the good quality Buccaneer. I thought I'll just quickly mention this one, something totally different, which I'm always willing to try odd topics. I would say this is a very well-made kit. I've never built a landing craft before. That's roughly the surface area, the hull, and so I don't think these kits are very expensive at all. You even get a photo etch section with it. So I'm quite looking forward to that. Not necessarily the most exciting of kits, but still. Something different. And not a very difficult build. I think most of the work will sort of be in the weathering. I think the only last one that I had to speak about was this. Now with this one, what I most wanted to speak about was how do I approach one of these kits. And I brought out the Shackleton fuselage, which is one that I'd covered in videos some months back. I'm still busy on that one. A lot of work sanding everything. Not so that it's absolutely flat, but so that it is somewhat smooth, but still has the surface detail. Now I really like the category of Airfix kit that was around this era. Now that surface detail, so I don't have to sand off a gazillion rivets. Very nice surface paneling, and all in all I would say not a bad kit for the period at all, but very let down by that box art. That period that they went through where they presented a very average model, presumably because that had to represent what most kids would be able to build out of the thing. So a very uninspired box art, but a very nice kit. This is something with a lot of, you know, it takes up a lot of shelf space if you were going to put it on a shelf, and I don't have shelves that can handle that. I don't even have shelves that can handle that phantoms that I'm building. So there's only one place that this can go, and that's hanging from the ceiling again, so keep that in mind. Undercarriage up or down. The undercarriage is not bad. I wouldn't call it highly detailed, but it's not bad. The wheels are very plain. But having the undercarriage down and no place to actually put it on a shelf is sort of an odd way to be building at this stage. Hanging from the ceiling with undercarriage down is totally fine, but building with undercarriage up is just as fair an option, which I haven't made up my mind with on this one. The clear parts that they supply are, you know, they're thick, they're not ideally to, you know, they're not in accordance with the rest of the kit. The rest of the kit is sort of better than the clear parts. I might have one of the vac form canopy sets that I can put onto here, but all of the surfaces and everything is really good. And when I say really good, I don't mean better than other more recent kits, of course not, but you can make a nice kit, and I do tend to like to build the Airfix kits. Oh, I'll just show you the size comparison. Liberator versus Shackleton. Obviously the Shackleton is a very large aircraft, but one can build a very nice kit out of this. So I don't need to sand the fuselage, but those sink marks there, wherever you have those pins on the inside, there, wherever you have the pins, you're going to have sink marks. One of the things that they just were not getting correct in those years. So there I've got 2 sink marks. There I've got 2 sink marks. There is sinkage in here. I might not address that. There's sink marks there and on the bottom. So I have a joint to fill, and I have sink marks to fill, which is going to damage some of that surface detail, but it's not the worst. One can work in such a way that you damage the least amount of surface. If you feel that the large amount of panel lines, they, you know, you can feel them. They're not ridiculously small, but I don't think they're worth any effort in changing at all. So wings, good. Now, as you know, I always comment on is there warping? Now that wing is pretty good. That one looks pretty good. If I needed to address warping, I just need to sort of ponder how I want to do that. You know, in the past I have caused a bit more damage trying to unwarp than just accepting it the way it is. And of course you've always got the method of just while you're gluing to adjust slightly. And if it was a bad case and you did want to use the gluing method of sort of just putting pressure to get a bit of adjustment, you do sometimes need to remove the pin so that you've got a little bit more leeway in how those two surfaces slide over each other as you're unwarping them. The figures, okay, not bad figures. Obviously some of the gunners sometimes are a little bit oddly positioned. You know, you've got this category of thing. They're okay for what their purpose was in the model, but they're not always the greatest. I don't think it's relevant for me to put the crew into this model. It's going to be hanging from the ceiling. No one is ever going to see that. The guns are okay. It's good enough for what their purpose is, just representatively showing a bunch of armament on the aircraft. I'm not going to do any internal detail, even though they provide you know, various bulkheads and things and the cockpit section. I'm just doing it absolutely minimal. If you looked from a meter, it would look like it's okay, and that's that. There's going to be no super detailing there. If you put it on its undercarriage, you definitely need to be doing undercarriage flattening, which is pretty easy. I have spoken about that. The amount of flattening on this particular aircraft would probably take it through the plastic thickness, but there's no hassle with that. However, if I'm hanging it from the ceiling, then you don't want that flattening. Then the wheels are in their full circular shape. So where am I more likely to display this aircraft? On occasion, if I take it to the club, or hanging from the ceiling. Possibly more likely taking it to the club, and after that, when it hangs on the ceiling, it's almost like you never see it again. I hardly look up to look at the aeroplanes on the ceiling. So this one will gradually get a little bit of attention. I do like these, and I do have a number of these. The Liberator, the Sunderland, the Catalina. I do have the Lancaster, but that one I've sort of abandoned for a whole long time. So these are also sort of a category of kit that I've neglected. The largest of the Airfix kits from the 70s and 80s. So I do need to get a few through the mill, but it obviously won't be that fast. Okay, I'm going back to trying to bring order to this desk of mine. Happy modeling. Cheers.